Hello everybody. I wasn't going to do a video about this, but I have seen a lot online about the IPCC report that has come out today, Monday. I'm posting this on Tuesday, which is Tuesday today for you. Now, the IPCC is the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change, which people may have not known about before. It's quite in depth. And the last reports that they did were in 2014, and this is the part of the overall report that is going to come out in 2022, so next year. So this report that has come out was the physical science report. I've got loads of notes here because I have gone through it. It is thousands and thousands of pages long. Obviously, a lot of that is cross-referencing. It is a very, very intense report, an intense scientific report. So somebody like myself and you guys probably can't read it in the manner that it should be read. So I haven't sat there and read through the 3,000 pages. I've pulled bits out, and I've also had a look on social media for people that I respect and trust as well to see what they're saying. Now, it doesn't say anything that we didn't know, but there is a huge amount of urgency to it. A lot of it is very doom and gloomy. So what I wanted to do was come on here and say there is hope, more than hope. There's more than hope. We're not all just sitting here and I hope for the best. I hope somebody will save us, because that's not going to happen. We can see that governments across the world are not going to do anything unless we really push them to do it. So I am going to talk about some things I think that we should all be doing and we should all be trying to do. Basically, we are all seeing the effects of climate change now. The global south has seen the effects for as long as we can remember, and it's now coming to us. I wish we would have taken note before then, because this affects people that are in poorer communities before it does for the people at the top. You know, you and I are not the people at the top, but we are certainly more privileged than the people right at the bottom who have been having these effects for a very long time. So we have seen over the last few weeks the fires in Greece, fires in California, flooding, extreme heat in Canada, and these are all effects of the climate crisis, because it is a crisis. And it is, as this report has confirmed, which again we have known, it is most definitely human made. It is made by us, it is made by our choices, it is made by the carbon that we are releasing into the atmosphere. So we are already 1% warmer than we should be. 1%, one degree, sorry, not percent, 1 degree warmer than we should be. Now, the Paris Climate Accord is basically saying we should be trying to keep under 1.5 rise. Now, looking at this report, it looks like that's just going to, that we've got to make some serious changes for that to happen, basically. So I just want to go through some very simple things. I don't want to be on here for ages. I just want to reiterate, there is certainty that we can help this. We might not be able to change what is happening now, but we can try and lessen it, but we are getting to a point of no return. And just to kind of reiterate here, sorry, don't want to be doomy and gloomy, we are looking at, by 2040, a rise in temperature of 2 degrees, and by 2060 a rise in temperature of 3 degrees. Now, a rise of 1 degree and 1.5 affects the world, affects people in poorer communities, affects the global south hugely. It affects crops grown, it affects livelihoods. So the thought of a rise of 3 degrees is absolutely apocalyptically terrifying. So we need to do stuff. There is positivity. We can do things, but we all have to get off of our arse to do it. And I hate talking about personal responsibility, because when we have the governments that we have and the people in power that we have, and we have billionaires going off into fucking space and thinking that that's a great idea instead of using their money correctly, it makes us here that don't really have any power, it makes us feel really sad and really upset. But I want to bring some points of action that you can do, that you know you can have a look at. Now, first of all, social media is wonderful, it's absolutely wonderful, but if things are upsetting you, I'm not saying turn a blind eye, I'm not saying don't read about it, because I think strongly we need to read about it, we need to feel the emotion. But if you find yourself slipping into a definite depression and despair about this, stop for a few days, be pragmatic, lift yourself up, get out into nature, go for a swim, go for a walk, see your friends, see your family, and try and lift yourself and think about all the good things that you can do and that you are doing individually as well. So follow some accounts on social media, one that uplift you, two that give you the information, the correct information, without scaremongering, without making you feel shit for not doing enough, because we can all only do what we can do. We can all do a bit more, most definitely, but there are certain, you know, lifestyles, monetarily, things that we can and can't do. You know, people that are struggling and in the poverty line can't do any of this stuff. So this is all for people that can do it. Like, I totally, you know what I'm like. I understand privilege is key to everything. But accounts you should follow Stop Cambo. Wonderful group of activists trying to stop the oil extraction in our seas that our lovely government is going ahead with. Even our climate person thinks that that's a good idea, the guy in government. Follow two amazing women, I've spoken about them before. Follow Earth by Helena. I get most of my information from her. She's extremely intelligent and works within the climate community, professionally and personally, as does Michaela Loach. She is wonderful. She is part of the Paid to Pollute group that are working to stop Cambo, basically. So Stop Cambo, Earth by Helena, Michaela Loach, Paid to Pollute, and also have a think about what you're physically reading. Don't be reading the tabloids, because one, they don't talk about it. They're more interested in who's got their boobs out, or somebody that's had an affair, or some sort of scandal that means nothing to any of us. I read The Guardian just because I love it. I find it very pragmatic. I find it very intelligent and testing, and also it gives you the information that you need without being too much. So I have that on my phone. I have it on an app. I pay $5.99 I think a month for it. So things that you can do overall, I have spoken about various things before, like making sure that your house is heated and everything with renewable energy. That is the main thing. Have a look at renewable energy, whether that's bulb, ecotricity, or someone like that. Just have a look at it. It's not as expensive as you think, although everything's about to get more expensive, isn't it? But I won't go into that. Right, up there, top one, demand action from your politicians. Write to your MP asking what they are doing, asking them about their climate policies. Demand that they look at these things, demand that they look at, well, they'll have looked at the report, demand that they do something about it, and, you know, express how critical it is that we do something. Petitioning your MP sometimes feels like you're shouting in, well, talking to nobody, and you'll get a generic reply. But if enough of us are doing it, they have to listen. They have to, even though it feels like they're not. They've got to address it. Have a look at the divestment movement. Learn about the divestment movement. Basically, divesting from fossil fuels. That's what we want to stop relying on. We want to stop relying on fossil fuels. So there are many companies that you wouldn't even think, from banking to universities to investments to other big businesses, that have a foothold in the fossil fuel industry. That's what they invest in. That's where they get a lot of their money back from. If you are, have a look at who you are banking with, who you are studying with, who you are buying from, and have a look at what their business practices are. I know this is all quite technical, but we're at that point now. Unfortunately, we're at that point. And write to them and demand change. Demand that they don't do it anymore. This all takes time. I totally appreciate it. I totally get that some people can't do this, but these are just things that I wanted to get across to you. Demand that companies reduce their ecological impact, ecological footprint. So basically, you want people that you are buying from, you want to see if they're offsetting, you want to see if they're planting trees, which isn't the be all and end all. This is just one thing. You want to make sure they're not cutting down trees for their product. You want to make sure that they're not destroying forests and woodlands and rainforests, you want to make sure that, you know, I think Burger King is a massive destroyer of the rainforests, and you wouldn't, you know, because of their beef production, all of that sort of thing. And yeah, demanding that sort of thing, you know, asking where they get their energy from, renewable energy. If they don't want to tell you, you know that they're not using renewable energy. Consumer pressure, put pressure on who you're buying from. And if you're not getting the right answers, if they're not reducing their plastic waste, if they're not reducing their packaging, if they're not reducing how they ship things, then don't buy from them, basically. Just don't buy from them. Get them to prioritise sustainability. Get them to make sure that sustainability is at the heart of what they're doing. Now, we can all look at fast fashion and all the nonsense that they talk about. That is greenwashing. So it is really difficult to sometimes differentiate what's real and what's not. If you don't think it's real, don't buy from them. Buy from companies like us. This isn't me going, buy from me, buy from me. Obviously, we're a dental brand. We can only supply you with that sort of product. But there are so many similar brands like myself, and that's at all different scales, whether you want a cheaper product, middle, or the top. We're out there. We're out there. So, you know, think about moving from the bigger guys if you can. Make sure that your home is efficient as well, from your utilities to how you heat it, to insulation, to, you know, don't be getting bloody fake grass in your garden, stuff like that. You know, diversify your garden, make sure there's lots of flowers and foliage, and maybe rewild a part of your garden. These all seem simple things, but they all add up. Lifestyle changes. Now I'm going to talk about this again. Meat intake, lower it. Lower it, lower it, lower it. Now, if we all went vegan at the same time, that would be a huge problem. We'll put different strains somewhere else. But lowering meat intake has been scientifically proven to reduce our carbon footprint globally. Flying, we all know that. Flying is the biggest impact you'll ever have with releasing carbon. So if you know, COVID times and all of that, but I'm talking about this in a normal sort of ish, non-COVID times. Reduce the amount of times you fly. If you have 3 or 4 holidays a year, cut it down to 1 or 2. Think about perhaps driving there or getting the train when you've got kids. That's not possible. I totally understand that. But these are all just ideas. These are just ideas. And cars. Reduce the amount of time you spend in your car or driving. Think about, if you can monetarily, getting a hybrid or an electric car as well, which will help hugely. I have reduced the amount of time that I'm in my car. I have invested in a hybrid car. We've also got my husband a hybrid car. We were able to do that. We were able to do it. So that's not a possibility for a lot of people. And yeah, again, with kids and things like that. But there are certain times you can walk somewhere. You may not have the time to do it all the time, but if you do have the time to be able to walk, especially if it's just yourself, do that. Again, little things that all add up. And these are all personal responsibilities, but it's so hard to do things when the people at the top are fucking about and going to Cornwall to talk about climate change and how they can stop it, and then having the red arrows fly above their heads and them all flying there. It's just, you couldn't make this stuff up, but we are at a point now where we need to demand more. So I hope that that's helped. I'm just trying to have a look at my notes. There is absolutely no mistake at all. This report is very clear. It is human made. This is us. It will be kind of apocalyptic in 50 years time if we don't do something about this now, but we can. That's the difference. We are here. We're not just sitting here going, oh my god. We're not at that point. We are here. We can change it. We are seeing these things. It is affecting everybody. Don't wait until it comes to your door, because by then it will be too late, basically. If anybody wants to DM me, email me, have a chat about all this sort of stuff. I am not the font of all knowledge. This is just something I wanted to reiterate to you guys who might not be following the people that I do or reading the things that I do. But I will do my best. I'll do my best to kind of speak to you all. Okay, have a great day. Yeah, make sure you take time for yourself and you have fun. Get out and about, because it's testing scary times.